Fine. Fine.
This is all designed reflection. To come back when they're not allowed to bring it up. Yes, and you're not informed.
All the crimes in your name! the occupation, enraged that the Arab leaders have betrayed the people of Palestine. Whilst we, the people, protest in our countries despite the repression being faced, we are appalled by the complicity of the Arab regimes, and remember that they will never, ever represent us. Especially Sisi and his regime. They will never represent us, the Egyptian people. Since the 7th of October, Sisi and his government have increased imports from the Zionist entity by 73.5%. Shame! They have allowed the free passage of U.S. warships through the Suez Canal. They allowed the transport of warplanes and weapons to support the massacres in Gaza and attacks on Yemen. Shame! They have routinely closed the Rafah crossing during Zionist aggressions, and they are allowing their mafia's government officials to take bribes at the Rafah border and making our Palestinian brothers and sisters pay tens of thousands of dollars just so they can get medical treatment in a safe place. This regime's complicity in the genocide against Palestinians is not only limited to closing the border crossing or destroying tunnels, but pushing the displacement of the Palestinians in Sinai, despite their refusal, because the Palestinians will always remain on their homeland and they will return in their The Zionist entity on the Egyptian borders, breaching the peace treaty with Egypt, and yet no real action was taken to stop them. They continue to breach international law, whilst the Egyptian government allows these violations, one of them being not letting aid through so Palestinians can get food, water, and basic supplies after their aid was also cut off by UNRWA. Shame! We must also hold the UK government accountable, who are part of the cut off of funding to UNRWA. Shame on them! This country claims that it is a so-called democracy. UK Parliament has previously voted no, and after the shambles that happened in Parliament recently, and they choose to dismiss our voices in the court of public opinion. And instead, Rishi Sunak has tried to come up with more restrictions, having the audacity to call us stupid for chanting from the river to the sea and for fighting against oppression and injustice. Shame on Rishi Sunak! He lacks any form of human decency, just like the Labour Party and just like Keir Starmer. It is apparent that the Western regimes create a false reality by claiming that they advocate for the protection of human rights, yet it is evident that this protection of human rights is not applied to our own people in our own countries, in our region in the Middle East. It is the same old story. The Middle East are so colonized by the white man who believes in the superiority over our own people. Shame! The slave that is Sisi and the Egyptian regime abide to the white man's rule and have also detained and continue to repress our people when fighting and protesting for Palestine back in Egypt. Shame! Arab leaders have their own shameful agenda, and their positions of wealth and superiority is solidified through their partnerships with the Zionist entity. Shame! Our Palestinian brothers and sisters have given us hope and opened a beacon of light for us to fight in our own countries, because the Arab leaders, they know that once we win and Palestine is free, that they do not stand a chance in power, and that our people in the Arab world will rise up and stand against them. Their positions as rulers will be under threat, and we have a duty, we have a responsibility. We know that we will never ever be free until Palestine is free, and we will not allow for our treacherous leaders and the Western imperialists to continue their support for the Zionist entity and their barbaric massacres against the Palestinian people. We must hold them accountable. We must push for a ceasefire to end normalization in our countries with the Zionist entity and an end to the occupation once and for all. We will always stand side by side with our Palestinian brothers and sisters during their fight for liberation. We will continue to honor our martyrs and continue their journey, because they live with us forever and eternally. must remember that there will never, ever be peace on stolen land. In order to achieve peace, one must achieve justice. And in order to achieve justice, one must achieve complete and total liberation by any means necessary. Palestine break the shackles and be the fall of Western imperialism once and for all. Thank you very much. I want all of London to hear you in our thousands and our millions. We are all Palestinians. In our thousands and our millions. We are all Palestinians. حرية 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 فلسطين عربية إسرائيل حرامية إسرائيل حرامية. Next up we have an incredible speaker, Gary, who's going to be saying a couple of words.
Just a couple.
No, you say very powerful.
Make them fire.
And you know about Sisi's regime more than us.
Oh, okay. I think the first thing to say is congratulations to George Galloway. At last, we will have someone in Parliament, in the so-called Mother of Parliament, who will speak truth to power, who will stand up for Gaza, who will stand up for Palestine. Unlike the Egyptian government of dictators and criminals who are stopping 2008 trucks getting through Rafah to reach the starving people in Gaza. Shame on Sisi! But we can learn from Egypt, because in Egypt, the most surveilled society in the world, where every other person could be a police spy, even in that country, there was a revolution a few years ago. A revolution that threatened to overturn for good the era of dictators in the Arab world. Unfortunately, that revolution was crushed, but it's rising again. We have news from Mahala, one of the biggest textile factories in the world is in Egypt. 30,000 workers, men and women. The women are on strike. The men joined them on strike. Let's remember, this is how the Arab Spring happened last time in Egypt. It can happen again in Egypt. And if it happens in Egypt, then the Zionist regime really will quake. It will quake because of what you said here today, exposing the collaboration. Israel is only as powerful as it is because of the collaboration, which means that Egypt exports energy to Israel, even while people in Egypt don't have enough energy. And it's not just Egypt. We also have in Turkey, where Erdogan talks a great talk, but they are still sending oil to Egypt, to Israel. And then you have Jordan, ruled by a monarchy, who are still sending food to Israel. And the good people of Amman and elsewhere in Jordan tried to blockade those exports to Israel, and they turned out the army to stop them. So we need a revolution in Jordan as well. And to finish, I'd say we also need, of course, to show our solidarity with the great Palestinian people. 2 million people who are putting up with bombs, putting up with living in sewage, putting up with starvation and famine, but they can still fight back. They can still fight back, we know, because we watch, or at least I do, the Al-Qassam Brigade videos. And every day we see Merkava tanks blown up by the resistance. I can't say victory to the H word, because they'll send us to prison, because they say that they are terrorists. But they said that Nelson Mandela was a terrorist, but now they love the name of Nelson Mandela. So we say what the Financial Times said at the beginning of this latest war, this genocidal war. But when it comes to Al-Qassam Brigade, the military wing of Hamas, they are more like the Viet Cong than they are ISIS. That is to say, they are a genuine national liberation struggle, just like the struggle in Ireland, just like the struggle in Vietnam, just like the struggle against apartheid in South Africa. People have the right to fight back. people, a Palestine for Muslims, a Palestine for atheists and everybody else. And that means getting rid of apartheid occupation. And it means getting rid of Zionism. Zionism is a racist idea, is a colonial idea. And the trouble with colonies and colonizers is they start to believe their own lies, which is why they couldn't believe that Hamas could break out of the concentration camp in Gaza. No matter all the videos that they saw of Hamas training to break out, they still couldn't believe that could happen because the Arabs are too stupid. But they believe their own lies, and because of that, that is their weakness. And we're seeing their army fall apart in Gaza. They don't show it on the Western media, but it is falling apart. They had to take half of the army very quickly out of Gaza because of the hammering they were getting. So with our support around the world for Palestine, let's remember that the European ruling class and the Americans are a minority in the world. As Malcolm X said when he's talking about the black liberation struggle in America, we might be a minority in America, but in the world and on the world stage, we are the majority. And we look at the BRIC countries. We look at the BRIC countries, the rising new powers in the world. And in 50 years, I don't know where Europe will be. Because if they don't let in any immigrants, there'll be no one to wipe their asses when they get to pensionable age. That's the reality of the European economy going down the drain. Their powers are draining away. That's what they really don't like. And we can actually make that happen a hell of a lot quicker by saying to this government, no, we will not leave the streets. We will not believe you when you tell us we have no right to protest. We will protest even louder, even bigger, and even more militant protest. And that's the way to win in Palestine. So we say victory to the Palestinian people. Down with Sisi and the dictators in Egypt. One solution, revolution in Egypt. But we need to apply the same methods in other countries too. Enough is enough. Enough is enough of the collaboration of the Sisi regime.
Collusion.
Thank you for listening, and victory to the Palestinian resistance.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next up.
Could I say when there's a okay.
Hi, I'm from Move for Justice with my comrade over here, and yet again I'm so pleased to be down here outside the Egyptian embassy. They are collaborating, and I'll say their days are numbered because their people will bring them to account. They are colluding with genocide, and they're building a concentration camp thinking they can imprison the Palestinian people where they're going to get a shock. Because the Palestinians are not going to be imprisoned, and the Egyptian people will not tolerate your collusion. Your days are numbered. The central task of our movement obviously is to support the Palestinian struggle. And we need to fight for the victory of the Palestinians and the defeat of the Israeli fascist government and its imperialist backers, including the UK. But that means now, it's an urgency of now. That means we have to stop the genocide and ethnic cleansing and stop the bombing in Rafah. Stop the Egyptian government collaborating with Israel's ethnic cleansing and genocide of the Palestinian people. No Egyptian concentration camp in Sinai.
Yes.
We need to open the Egyptian border by any means necessary, and all possible necessary supplies for the survival of the Palestinians and for their fight for victory.
Yes.
Mass action. We must call for mass action across the Arab world to get aid directly to the Palestinian people to protect and advance their struggle for freedom. The enemies of Palestine are our enemies too. And the second challenge our movement has to face here in the UK is defending the right to speak out and organise in support of the Palestinians by any means necessary, and supporting our Palestinian sisters and brothers. The main weapon the UK state is using to intimidate the Muslim community is prevent. This is a racist, vindictive and malicious program. Despite that, hundreds of thousands of our Muslim sisters and brothers have come out on demonstrations, wore badges and displayed Palestinian flags in support of the Palestinian struggle in their schools, colleges and universities. And workers in public service and education are standing up in defiance of their service users and students' right to free speech on Palestine. This is our chance at last to shut prevent. And lastly, sorry, pull the page over. Old school. Last, I want to read the last pledge of Move for Justice, and I think it's one of the pledges that we, if you're part of the movement and lead the movement, we pledge to. I pledge to the millions of oppressed people around the world, most of whom I will never know, but all of whom I regard as my sisters and brothers, that I will fight for freedom, equality, and the rights for all of us to democratically decide the future of each of our own nations. Winning freedom and justice for all in Britain is not possible as long as hundreds of millions of other people throughout the world live in desperate poverty, battle small and large-scale man-made disasters on a continuous and regular basis, and are forced to accept the dictates of the wealthy foreigners' powers. To win, our movement must be an international movement of the oppressed. The issues of racism, immigration, the rights of all is the real direct democratic control of our government is what social forces and powers will determine the policy of our own nations are the questions of the day. And to all of those who are oppressed, I say, as a leader of a growing, integrated, independent youth movement, your blood is our blood. Your enemy is our enemy. Your struggle for freedom is my struggle for freedom. Your dreams and hopes echo in my heart and mine. The borders that separate us will not divide us. We will win as one. We have the power to make this world into a world we want to live in. And we can, if we act, create a new society in which the needs of humanity come before the enrichment of the few. And for the first time in human history, human beings can finally think, love, and socialize as equal while protecting and realizing the great potential of both human beings and all that inhabit the earth.
Thank you.
Join our demonstration. We're marching in Tower Hamlets tomorrow. We need to raise the question of opening the borders and calling for action to support our Palestinian road. Victory to the Palestinian struggle. Thank you.
يا رب And we are here because they mess with the wrong generation! Month after month, Israel has used its most gruesome efforts to target every civilian, child, mother, father, grandpa, grandma, journalist, you name it. We have seen the countless videos and images. We have heard their cries and screams and seen the fear in their eyes. For months, journalists have been risking their lives to show the world the terrorist regime that is the Zionist entity called Israel. Month after month, they have been ignored. Shame! Instead, Western media has gone on a PR rampage to show the world that we are the terrorists, that Hamas is the problem, that they are the root cause of all the pain and suffering the Palestinians in Gaza are facing. But it is ideal soldiers who make fun of the buildings that they bombed, the schools that they bombed, the mosques, the hospitals, the homes, and they bombed and shared proudly all over Telegram. Aid is being delivered to Palestinians, and they are running, trying to gather as much as they can for their families because Israel has been forcibly starving them. It was the IDF who deliberately targeted and shot them down, murdering 103 Palestinians and injuring 700. These numbers are still going. Shame! This footage was not just shared, but praised in Israeli telegrams, and governments are pointing their fingers at me and my people that we are the terrorists for chanting from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
Let us be clear. This is not a war against Hamas. This is not a war against Islamic Jihad. This is not even a war, it is a genocide. This is a massacre. This is the ethnic cleansing of Palestinian people and the conquest for their land. It was not about Hamas when Israel attacked Gaza in 1948 or 1967 or 1987 or 2000 or 2007, 2008, 2012, 2014, 2021, 2022, 2023. So why are we still asking the same damn question in 2024? It was not Palestinians who started World War I or II. It was not Palestinians who colonized North America, South America, Iraq, Afghanistan, Philippines, and more. It is not Palestinians who have over 1,000 military bases all over the world. It was not Palestinians who used illegal weapons like white phosphorus. It is not Palestinians who engaged in years of terrorist acts in order to get group leaders to grant their command. Don't let their lies infiltrate your resistance! This world has gone blind. Humanity has failed us. Our leaders have failed us. International systems have failed us. But we will not fail Gaza! More than ever, we need to unite and stand together against their imperialism, against their colonialism. We need to continue protesting, screaming, and educating. We need to demand total liberation, not just for Gaza, but for all of Palestine, from the river to the sea. Ben-Gurion once said the old will die and the young will forget. Well, Ben-Gurion, I stand here as the granddaughter of Nakba survivors, as the daughter of Palestinian refugees, and I carry their fight and those who came before me, and my kids will carry the fight, and their kids will carry the fight, and this will continue because generation after generation we demand total liberation! So to all the colonialist countries, to all the Zionists out there, and their accomplices like Sisi, if you think we will stop, if you think we will be silent, if you think you can burn our olive trees and we will forget, then you do not know how strong and deep our roots go. We will never forget how you forced our children to watch their parents be murdered. We will never forget how you starved our people. We will never forget how you forced our people to take pictures of our severed martyrs to prove to the world that they are being massacred against. We will fight. We will unite. We will resist until we see a free Palestine from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
Netanyahu, don't you see?
Palestine will be free!
Sisi, don't you see?
Palestine will be free!
Free, free.
Palestine!
Free, free.
Palestine!
night, I received a message on Instagram from one of my followers. I don't know this guy, but he follows my stories, which are all about Palestine. He took it upon himself, a white man, to tell me that my worldview on Palestinian liberation is incompatible with the way the world operates today. That contemporary political nuances mean that we should just forget, move on, because we're all one group of people, we're all the same. But do people treat Palestinians the same as white people? No, they don't. I responded, he told me I don't see race. I said, no, you don't need to see race because you're white. That's why you don't need to see race. You don't see your white male privilege. But on the subject of white men, I want to talk about Aaron Bushnell, because Aaron Bushnell is not the same. Aaron Bushnell gave his life. Aaron Bushnell gave his life on Sunday in the most brutal way imaginable because of how much he loves the Palestinians. And I want us, every time we go to a protest, a vigil, I want us to remember Aaron Bushnell because he's there with us in spirit. And he is a sign that not, as much as they want us to forget, as much as they want us to stop being inconvenient, our existence being inconvenient for them, their own people are burning themselves alive. Their own soldiers are burning themselves alive. Because the world has changed. And they need to catch up with us, not the other way around. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Open the border.
Open the border! Open the border! Rest in peace, Aaron Bushnell! Rest in peace, Aaron Bushnell! Thank you.
Thank you very much for this. Okay. We're going to do some more chanting now. حرية 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 فلسطين عربية حرية 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 إسرائيل حرامية من غزة العقارات من غزة العقارات من غزة العقارات انتفاضة انتصار انتفاضة انتصار يا حكومة عربية كبانة يا حكومة عربية كبانة المقاومة والطغيانة Palestinian cities.
Excuse me. First, we'll listen to Shireen because Shireen has a voice note from one of the doctors, and I hope that we all listen to her because it will show you how they really suffer, and we really all keep standing beside them, supporting them. They need us. Huh? You can hold this first. I didn't know what you said, so I was confused the way you was for a second. Shireen, yes, see that. That translation. I got two. Yes. You can hold it.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here tonight. I know it's not the easiest of weather, but seriously, people of Gaza appreciate your presence tonight.
Firstly, I'm going to play a short voice note from the family of Dr. Saleh here. Dr. Saleh has been missing since November as he was leaving Al Shifa Hospital. His family doesn't know where he is or what's happened to him, but they believe he's been tortured by the IOF. So please listen to this short message from one of his family members.
A good mic, please. A strong mic.
George's mic.
Brother,
George, can we?
voice notes on your
I
mic.
think this will work.
This is fine. This is fine? Okay.
Here, this one.
I think this might work.
You can use a few. You can use more than one, can't you?
Yeah, let's try it.
November 18th, Dr. Saleh has been abducted by the IUF. He was forced to evacuate Al Shifa Hospital, and on his way to the south through the safe corridor, he was seen being abducted by the IUF. Since November 18th, we have not had any contact with him. We have contacted the Red Cross and as well as the Canadian government to help us in locating him, and both have refused to help. The Red Cross actually told us that they have a list of the whereabouts and all the detained people, but because of the occupied forces, they're not allowing them to release any of the information. We're asking people to email the Minister Melanie Jolie in Canada in order to put pressure on her to do something and to get us answers and to call for his release. He's not Canadian, unfortunately. He's Palestinian, born and raised, always lived in Palestine. And one thing to mention as well, he was the valedictorian of his medical school. He was the top student. He was one of the brightest people to ever know.
Sorry.
The trigger.
So that message was from Dr. Saleh's cousin. What that demonstrates is the fact that the occupation forces, especially in this genocide, has been trying to silence and get rid of the smart and the most talented people in Palestine, especially in Gaza. They're silencing doctors, nurses, academics, creatives. Just look at the amount of schools being destroyed. There's no more universities left in Gaza. There's hardly any working hospitals in Gaza. There's nowhere safe in Gaza for anybody. We cannot just stand here and be okay with that and not take any actions. Just to echo what Zara said earlier before me about Aaron Bushnell, I hope none of us would take that extra bit of action where we harm ourselves in order to support this incredible cause for humanity. I hope we can all get together and look after our mental health as well, because, you know, as much as we're living in the so-called free world, we are not that free. And having exposed to all these images, all these videos of horrific, massacres that's happening to the people in Gaza on a daily basis cannot be something that we can accept. So that's one of the messages I received from his family. So next, I'm going to play a voice note. Now, this is from Salim. Salim Al-Ras he's a relief coordinator for the Palestine Red Crescent Society. He's a relief coordinator, right? No harm to anybody, and he's literally been around Gaza trying to help the wounded and the martyred and people under the rubble. Follow him on Instagram, Salim Al-Ras. Now, Salim's been trapped in the Al-Amal hospital since the 21st of January. It's the 1st of March. They've not been allowed to leave by the occupation forces. Can someone explain to me why? It's absolutely ridiculous and unacceptable! Now, I'm going to play his voice note. Please listen. The voice note is going to be coming straight from Salim himself. It's going to be in Arabic, so if you understand Arabic, that's fantastic. Once that ends, I'm going to read the translation of his voice note. Can someone hold this for me a minute? Sorry.
إلا كميات قليلة لا تكفي للطواقم والمصابين والنازحين الموجودين داخل المستشفى، وبالتالي أصبحت المستشفى تعاني من نقص حاد في هذه المستلزمات. طبعا احنا طوال اليوم عم نحصل على وجبة واحدة من الغذاء، وبتكون عبارة عن غذاء معلب. سلمنا للعالم، احنا بنحكي لهم انه يجب عليكم حماية الطواقم الطبية العاملة في الميدان. طبعا طول اليوم احنا عم نحصل على وجبة غذاء واحدة عم بتكون عبارة عن غذاء معلب. رسالتنا للعالم الخارجي انه يجب عليكم حماية المستشفيات والطواقم الطبية الموجودة في الميدان. طبعا احنا كنا عم نتواصل مع العالم الخارجي وعم نوصل صوتنا من خلال اللي هو شرايح الإيسم، وبعد ما الاحتلال سرق جوالاتنا احنا مش عم نقدر نوصل صوتنا ومش عم نقدر نوصل للناس شو الاشياء اللي عم بتصير داخل المستشفى. بالاضافه الى هيك لانه الاحتلال استهدف المستشفى بالقذائف اكثر من مره وبطلق الرصاص بشكل دائم على المستشفى. وحتى عشان نستخدم هاي الإيسم عم نروح على مكان خطير داخل المستشفى، وبحزنني جدا احكي انه داخل المستشفى في مكان خطير. المفروض انه المستشفيات والطواقم الطبيه العامله في الميدان بتكون محميه بوفق اتفاقيات جنيف والقانون الدولي الانساني. حاليا انا محاصر داخل مستشفى الامل من تاريخ 21/1 كطواقم طبيه ونازحين ومصابين. طبعا الاحتلال بيمنعنا من انه نطلع خارج اسوار المستشفى، واي حدا بتنقل بيتم استهدافه. وقتل الاحتلال مجموعه من زملائنا داخل المستشفى، وفي تاريخ 9/2 اقتحم الاحتلال المستشفى واعتقل مجموعه من زملائنا، وقاموا الجنود بضربنا وقيدونا وقاموا بسرقه جوالاتنا منا، وحاليا احنا مقطوعين عن العالم.
Can you translate, please, Shireen? I will. Yeah. Sorry. So many passwords. Okay. Fine.
As I read the translation of what Salim's voice would mean, I want you to please remember Salim is currently inside Al-Amal Hospital for over a month. He's not been able to leave by the occupation forces. So this is the translation. Hello, I am Salim Abu Ras. I work in the Disaster Relief Union of the Palestinian Red Crescent. I also have an Instagram page where I share content about what aid workers are having to live through. The occupation has rejected medical supplies entering the strip and don't allow in enough to treat all the injured and displaced people coming to the hospital. So now the hospital is in desperate need of these things. We only get 1 meal a day, and it's normally from the can. Our message to the world is you need to protect the hospitals and the doctors. We used to speak to the international world through the eSIM, but since the occupation took everyone who works in the hospital's phones, we've not been able to share what's happening with the world. They are consistently opening fire and artillery on the hospital. To even use our eSIMs, we have to go to a part of the hospital that's very dangerous. Isn't that crazy to say? Why should the hospital have a dangerous place? We should be protected under the Geneva Convention. I've been surrounded and trapped in the Al-Amal hospitals since the 25th of January, along with the medics and the injured. We're not allowed to leave the hospital. Anyone who leaves will get shot. Many of our medical colleagues have been killed. On the 9th of February, the occupation entered the hospital and arrested a bunch of healthcare workers. That includes Salim, by the way. They beat them up and tied us up. And then they stole our phones. We are now cut off of the world. Thank you. That's a message from Salim Aburas. Please give him a round of applause. Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever!
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever!
In our thousands, in our millions!
We are all Palestinians!
In our thousands, in our millions!
We are all Palestinians!
In our millions, in our billions!
We are all Palestinians!
I just want to say one thing. I played his voice note because I want you to hear his voice. And remember that he's a person. Palestinians are not numbers. They are people like us with names, with jobs, with skills, with vision, with so many things to look forward to and that they want to do, but they've not been able to. They've been robbed of their livelihood. And it is our responsibility to set them free!
Set them free!
End the occupation!
End the occupation!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Make some noise, please. That was very touching. Thank you so much.
And that's why we are here in front of the Egyptian embassy. That's right. Because the Egyptian regime is completely complicit in the genocide that's happening in Gaza. They are claiming that the border is open, and no, they are liars. Because they are abiding to the rules of the Zionist entity. By the way, the Zionist entity breached the peace treaty, the so-called peace treaty, the Camp David treaty with the Egyptians by bombing Rafah. So why are you abiding still to the so-called international law? You are liars. You are complicit in the genocide that's happening in Gaza. I just want to mention something. Sisi, when he was with the German Prime Minister, he mentioned Al-Naqab Desert. People has to know that Al-Naqab Desert is part of the century of the deal, which is that they displace the Palestinians into Sinai and they give Egypt part of the Naqab Desert as a present or as a gift or as a reward or whatever. So he doesn't say these words haphazardly. No, he knows exactly what he's saying. And he is helping in the replacement of the Palestinians. Another thing, people remember he was with Trump once when he was a president, and he said, yes, we are going to help in the deal of the century. What is the deal of the century? Is the displacement of the Palestinians in Sinai. So this guy is a big liar. This guy is a killer. And not he only, he and his whole regime. I'm also accusing the Egyptian army because they are silent. Silent! Go with everything. They are traitors! 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 Open the borders!
Open the borders!
Open the borders!
Open the borders!
When we say open the borders, we say that because we need the aid to go inside to the Palestinians so that they are able to survive. They are able not to be displaced. This is a very, very filthy plot of Sisi claiming that he cannot do anything. Although, by the way, the Zionist entity in the ICJ said that they had nothing to do with it. It's all in the hands of the Egyptian regime. So, what was the answer of the Egyptian regime? No, we cannot breach the international law. To hell with you! To hell with you!